episode of Puck Drop. And we have just recently learned that the NHL will be coming back with 4 differently aligned divisions. The North this year is not at all consisting of American teams. The West, the Central, and the East. So basically, I like to consider the North the Canadian division. So I think I might call it that a couple times by accident. So on my behalf, I apologize.
Yeah, North and Canada are interchangeable for this episode. We'll say.
And I think we can all agree before we proceed that the East Division is a little too powerful for us Devils fans. And otherwise, we're going to be making our predictions for the divisions. So I'm going to hand the mic to Jacob, who will start off today's episode in his champion red sweatshirt. Go ahead, Jacob.
All right, so let's start with the North Division. My predictions for the North Division, where I have Ottawa, Montreal, then Vancouver, and then when we get into the playoffs, I have Calgary, then Winnipeg at 3, Edmonton at 2, Toronto at 1.
I think it's interesting that you have Vancouver not in the playoffs. I think they're a very young, very talented team. Braden Holtby sucked this season, but it's still a decent acquisition to shore up the goaltending after the departure of Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you too, Jordan. I would say that Edmonton has slimmer of a chance of making the playoffs.
No. Edmonton's in there.
I don't know about that. I think Vancouver is a very good team. Again, as you said, they had a problem with goaltending last year, but I think in general, they are going to be a very good team this year if they can shore up the goaltending.
I mean, they lost.
Well, they didn't really have a problem. They just lost Jacob Markstrom in free agency.
I
would consider that a problem, Jordan. You lose your goalkeeper in free agency. That's not the best thing.
They lost
Anyway.
Markstrom. They lost Tanev. They lost Levo. They lost Toffoli. I mean, I agree.
I think they're still too talented to miss out. I think they'll fight all the way.
Jordan, a lot of teams this year are going to be too talented to miss out. I'm just preparing you.
I have Vancouver at 5. Like I think it's going to be really close between them and Calgary. But the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Canucks, because Calgary signed like 5 Canucks players in free agency this year. I think it's going to be really close between those two, but I think eventually Calgary will beat them out.
I will tell you, too, the Canucks are a relatively young team.
Yeah, no, they have time.
All right.
Anyway,
let's move along.
Moving on to the West, I have LA finishing last, then Anaheim, San Jose, Arizona, Minnesota, and then St. Louis, Vegas, and Colorado.
You guys are going to hate my West prediction. I just realized because of Colorado. But in terms of Vegas, I do have to agree with you that the fact that they're trying to get rid of Pacioretty does really kill them, but I still think that they're going to be the best team in the West. I don't know, just my opinion. Colorado, no doubt about it, a fantastic team. Just let me finish my sentence. But Vegas is very strong. Every single year, they tend to improve. If one player goes down, like what we saw with Marc-Andre Fleury, another rises. This is a very good team. They definitely deserve to be in the playoffs. I think they might even be able to pass Colorado on a good day.
They'll be in the playoffs, but they're not the real deal. Like they're kind of.
What does that mean? They made it to the finals in their inaugural season. What do you mean they're not the real deal?
They kind of fade. They're kind of faded a little.
They made it to the conference finals last year.
Yeah,
I know, but they are going to rely on Robin Lehner this year, and I don't trust Robin Lehner. Okay, and also they're trying to get rid of Pacioretty, but I do think they're a playoff
But they
team.
brought in Pietrangelo.
You don't trust Jordan. Robin Lehner has been a really good goalie throughout his entire career. If you look at his stats, even in Buffalo, when he was playing in front of some of the worst teams in NHL history in Buffalo, he put up great stats. Robin Lehner.
Yeah, I don't trust. I think this team is definitely a cup contender. I just don't think they could beat out Colorado. I don't trust them with the division.
Let me just say, they have Pietrangelo. Fleury is still a good goalkeeper. I have confidence in Fleury, no doubt about it. I have plenty of confidence in Pietrangelo, and Pacioretty, as of now, is in a Vegas uniform. So I would not go out there telling everybody how bad Vegas is, Jordan. I'm just warning you.
Yeah,
I'm not going out there and saying they're bad. I'm going out there and saying they can't beat Colorado.
Vegas has probably the best goaltending tandem in the entire NHL, and Leonard and Fleury. So let's move on to the Central Division, where this might be a little controversial, but I actually have Carolina winning the Central Division. And let me explain why. Tampa's offense is kind of deflated. and just before we started filming this video, it was announced Nikita Kucherov will miss the entire season because he's having hip surgery. Stamkos has had repeated injury problems throughout his career. He should be fine to start the year, but I don't know if he's going to make it through the year. Plus, they're going to have to trade someone else that's good and has a high cap hit to clear extra room. They only have $3 million in cap space now after putting Nikita Kucherov in LTIR, and I don't know if that's enough to sign Anthony Cirelli. I mean, they have a very good defense, and obviously Andrei Vasilevsky is a Vezina candidate goalie, but Carolina is just has a much better defense, or I wouldn't say much. They have a better defense than Tampa. Carolina has one of the best defenses in the entire National Hockey League, and they have a really, really underrated offense too.
Let me put it this way. I am not doubting that Carolina is going to be a great team, but we have to be respectful of last year's Stanley Cup champions. They aren't nearly a perfect team. I mean, come on, Jordan. I mean, not Jordan, Jacob. They are nearly a perfect team.
I just feel like in the regular season, Carolina is going to outdo them, even if it's just by a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
I actually don't think this is too controversial because I consider this for like 5 minutes. I was like, Carolina excites me as a team. I've always had a soft spot for Carolina because they're the fun team, and also they play with electricity, and also what Jacob said, I actually chose my teams slightly before the announcement of Kucherov's surgery. So I don't know. I honestly, it's a dogfight between them. But I'm actually okay with your Dallas placement, but I do think Florida should be above Nashville.
All right, so yeah, then in the Central, between one more thing before we move from the East, Nashville and Florida, it's really close. I was really close between them, but Nashville is too, especially after just signing today, Eric Halla and Mikhail Granlund. Nashville is way too talented at every aspect not to make the playoffs, even though it will be close to them in Florida. Then moving on to the East, I obviously sadly have the Devils at last, which I think they're probably better than a lot of other non-last place teams in other divisions. They're just in a really hard division, and
they're better than Ottawa and Chicago, no doubt.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Devils not make the playoffs, but if they make a push for the playoffs, if they aren't last, is what I'm saying.
I think that if they are lucky, they'll give Buffalo a fight for 7th.
I think that they can fight. I think that they can make a show of it, but they're definitely not playoff contenders. I think. Can we talk about how you have Washington in first? So I understand Washington in first. They're still a powerhouse, but Washington. Why can't they just be the jokes of the NHL again? I miss those.
Well, I would just like to say, Washington, although maybe it hasn't been like that recently, but Washington, a regular season powerhouse. So I would not be surprised if they pull out even the toughest division in the NHL.
That's kind of part of the reason why, and also another reason why is the way I did the East. I did the East first, then I did the other divisions, and the way I did the East was I predicted each team's record against every other team, and then I added up the record, and Washington just came out as the best. But I decided that it was taking too long, so I wasn't going to do that for the other 3 divisions. But part of the reason I had Washington first, and I also thought it made sense just because they're usually a regular season powerhouse. For Boston, though, I hesitated them having them in second, just because it sounded like Pastrnak and Marchand are going to miss the beginning of the season.
I think for me, it's all about how Ilya Samsonov can take over Holtby's position. If he can, Washington any day of the week is better than Boston. If he can't, Boston any day of the week is better than Washington. For me.
Yeah, and I don't think Pastrnak may miss the beginning of the season, but I don't think he's going to be out for too long, if I'm correct. And I think Boston is just a straight-up powerhouse. They have Tuukka Rask, who's one of the best goaltenders in the league. The goaltending situation in Washington is kind of on thin ice. No pun intended. That was no pun intended. But
That was not funny.
shut up. But they'll probably need to trade for a backup level goaltender or sign one. But I think Boston is just better than Washington.
But let me just
Also,
make a
you
point
have
about that.
Pittsburgh in there.
Yeah, but let me just make a point about that. Although Pittsburgh is a very good hockey franchise, historically and currently, the Islanders have continued to prove you can take every single goddamn eye out of their head. They still somehow are able to prevail with the nose. If that was the dumbest analogy, just let me know.
Nah, that was good. I like
It was
that.
kind of stupid, but it made sense.
Yes, they always when
Better
what's
than
his
a
name?
rat in a steak.
Yeah, hold on. What was his name when he departed to Toronto? I'm bugging out right
Tavares?
now. So, yeah, Tavares. When John Tavares left, they were even better. So I have a feeling, although they really actually got worse and didn't improve over the offseason, I think they're going to end up being even better. It's just how they are.
All right, so Jordan.
Okay. All right, so for
Uh-oh.
the Canada division, I have Ottawa, Montreal, Calgary, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Edmonton, Toronto. And I put Vancouver at 3 because they impressed me last playoffs, and I like their young talent. It may not be based totally in fact, but they excite me. That's just the reason I have them.
I completely understand. I'm not going to argue with anything you have in the North besides maybe having Calgary out, but even then, I said it was close for them in Vancouver. So I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, and I want to back you up here. The Leafs made a lot of moves defensively. And don't forget, they have Tavares. They have a very skilled up top. They have, oh my God.
Oh, no, I think they're a lot for the division.
Hold on, I forgot the guy's name. What's Kakkonen? What's his first name?
They traded Kapanen.
Yeah. So although they did trade Kapanen, what I was going to say, they did get some depth this year. Let's not forget. They got Bogosian. They got some depth. They're going to be a very strong defensive team. And they have
I think they're a lock for the division. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
All right.
Edmonton might give them a fight, but moving on to the West, I have San Jose, Anaheim, Los Angeles, Arizona, Minnesota, Vegas, St. Louis, Colorado. And I have Colorado on top because they're Colorado. And Ryan, I know you don't like my Vegas prediction. I feel like they don't deserve anything.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. I think this is actually this is definitely the weakest division. Can we agree on that? Like,
no.
I disagree.
I don't think so.
The weakest division is the North or Canada division. It's just a lot of those teams are close together in skill level. Like a lot of those teams are very mediocre, but they're all very, very mediocre, if you know what I mean. Or not, I wouldn't say mediocre, but they're not top tier, but they're not, I think overall North.
No, I think this is a very weak division. Anyway, moving on to the Central Division, I have Detroit, Chicago, Nashville, Columbus, Dallas, Florida, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. Now, because I made this list before the Kucherov situation, but I think Stamkos is going to come back full health, right? Am I right about that?
I think so. Yeah, I actually might agree with you.
Like, is he going to start the season?
I don't know. Yeah, but you also have to realize that they're going to take a lot of precaution. So I don't know. This is a very crowded schedule. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is kind of a wild card right now, but they still have tons of talent. So I'm keeping them up there. Carolina, I said, they excite me. I have Florida at 3 because they are one of the most underrated teams in the NHL. And I think that if they had been the Islanders in the play-in round, that they could have gone someplace. Now, moving on to the East, I have New Jersey, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, and Boston.
Ooh.
Sadly, like Jacob, I have New Jersey finishing last. But let's move on to Washington because the Capitals suck. I hate them and they deserve to not be in first. And that's my logic.
Jordan, you are not going to like Ryan's rankings.
Yeah, now he's gonna roll over like a baby and start crying when he hears my ratings.
Speaking of which, let's move on to Ryan's rankings.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. It is my turn.
No, get out, get out, get out.
Let's go
Get
from
out.
division to division here. All right, Jordan. If you need a tissue, I can provide you with one. Okay. For the North/Canadian division, from last to first, we have the Senators, the Flames, the Jets, the Oilers, the Canucks, the Montreal Canadiens, and in first place, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Criticism.
Why do you
from
have the
Jacob.
Canadians? Explain the Canadians.
Can we mute Jordan, please?
Explain
Ryan,
the
why,
Canadians.
yeah, I want you to explain too. Why do you have Montreal?
Okay, all right. So first of all, I just want to let you guys know that I feel that not everything is going to end the way the stats tell us they're going to.
I agree.
You got to come up with some type of change here. Not every team ends the way they're predicted. I mean, let's think about it. How many times have the Devils how many times have we thought the Devils were going to have a good season? We predicted them to be a wild card team. They ended last. Too many times.
That's just because the Devils are the Devils. Why do you have the Canadians up there?
Okay, fine. Then you know what? I'll do another team. Let's talk about the Jets this season. Everyone thought that the Jets were going to win 5-6 games this year. That's impossible at this point. Teams in all different sports have all different types of changes as the season goes by in terms of injuries, in terms of probabilities, in terms of young players standing up. I think that this Montreal Canadiens team has not a strong defense. I will point that out to you. But they do have, and this is a player I really like, Nick Suzuki. I feel like he has a huge future. And I think that although this Montreal team is young, I feel like they're going to be an
I actually disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
I think they actually do have a strong defense. They have a very strong defense. Defense and goaltending is not their problem. It's offense. While they have a lot of good guys, they don't have that elite superstar. And I think that's what and every other team here besides I guess Ottawa has an elite superstar. Matthews, Marner, Tavares in Toronto, Pedersen and Hughes in Vancouver, McDavid and Draisaitl in Edmonton, Scheifele, Connor, and Wheeler in Winnipeg, and Enline. Calgary has Monahan and Gaudreau. Like, Montreal does not have that guy, but once they get that guy, I think they can reach where you say they are, but not quite yet.
And also, I know you guys
playing devil's
hold
advocate.
on. I know you guys don't like when I say this, and I know he's getting older every year, but Carey Price, however you pronounce it, is an absolute tank and goal.
First of all, I think he's aging, but he's still a solid goaltender. I think that they definitely can fight through all the rest of the teams to become a playoff contender, but I don't think it's just going to happen.
Anaheim, Los Angeles, San Jose, Arizona, St. Louis, Minnesota, Colorado, and Jordan, Vegas up top. I want to hear what you feel.
Why do you have Minnesota ahead of St. Louis? That's my question.
That's a very good question, Jordan. But I think, in my opinion, after losing Pietrangelo and all that stuff, I really do think that St. Louis is regressing from that Stanley Cup team we remember 2 years ago.
I mean,
they had a great run, no doubt about it, but I really do think that Torrey Krug is not as good of a replacement.
I agree that Krug is not as good as Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo is a top 5 defenseman in the National Hockey League. Torrey Krug is still top 10, top 15. Like, Torrey Krug is still an elite defenseman.
Yeah, he's an adequate replacement. I wouldn't say great, I would say adequate, and I think it's enough to put St. Louis over Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. Minnesota.
I don't know.
Minnesota's goaltending tandem kind of concerns me. They have Talbot and Stalock. I don't know if I trust that tandem. And while they do have a great defense, their offense is like they kind of have the same problem as Montreal. They don't really have that superstar unless Fiala or Kaprizov can step up this year. Minnesota's offense and goaltending is not good enough for me for them to be top 3, especially above St. Louis.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let me interrupt you there. Hold on. Defense is the best type of offense. We have 4 prime defenders on this Minnesota team.
I agree. No,
I still think that St. Louis is better.
Yeah, St. Louis still also has really good defense. St. Louis has Parayko, Krug, other people.
Good job, Jacob. Good sentence.
All right. For the Central Division, we got Detroit, Florida, Chicago, Columbus, Carolina, Dallas, Nashville, Tampa.
Okay, barring that you have Nashville in second, why do you have Chicago over Florida? Why in God's name do you have Chicago over
Chicago
Florida?
was so bad. I almost put them below
My
Detroit.
God. They sent a letter to their fans saying they're rebuilding. Why do you have them above Florida, one of the most underrated teams in the NHL? Why?
Because I felt like it. I don't know. I felt
That's
there had
not
to
a
be.
valid reason.
I didn't want to, Jordan. I didn't really want to freaking copy every professional's opinion. I wanted to at least predict some type of upset here. Okay? There's got to
Who
be.
was
This is
Chicago?
just ridiculous. Chicago's
No, it's not.
The
tandem
upset you have.
Chicago's goaltending tandem this year is 2 low-tier backup goalies, and their defense is Duncan Keith, and that's it. They have a good forward core, but you can't win with just a good forward core.
Can't win on Patrick Kane's back, and also the upset you have here is Nashville in second, which is in its own right is a strange prediction. But that's not the strangest here because it's Chicago over Florida. What is going on? What is going on?
I would just like to let you guys know that I probably have a better chance of being right, taking into account for injuries and all that. You guys are not going to exactly be right. I had to predict some type of upset here, and I just feel like for some reason Florida is going to be the team that falls apart this season. It's going to be close, but they're both going to be awful. And Detroit stinks, disgracefully awful, just horrible. I honestly think Nashville is going to be a big surprise this year. I think they're really going to show
They could be a
up.
big surprise.
What?
Yeah,
I said I
and
agree.
that's your upset here. You didn't have to put Chicago over Florida for an upset.
You don't tell me what I have to do, Jordan. I think that this is going to be a wild surprise. Let's talk about wild surprises, shall we? Does anybody remember when Columbus swept Tampa?
I mean, that was just, they had it coming. They had it coming.
Wait,
They didn't
really?
sweep them. Wait, what are you talking about?
Really? Yeah, you don't even
They
remember.
didn't sweep them.
Jacob, when did that happen?
It was the big thing, 2019.
Different things happen to different teams all the time. Tampa should have won the frickin' Stanley Cup that year, but they didn't. Okay? Let's be honest here. Okay? Let's be genuinely honest with ourselves here. Chicago and Detroit deserve to be rock bottom of this league, but not everything happens according to what teams deserve and what is predicted, okay? The only
All right,
thing
I'm
I'm doing
putting
that's
money on
different,
this.
the only thing I'm doing that's different is working outside of the box. And no, I am not betting money because the great thing about sports is that a lot of people can be wrong. And I am not putting full trust in my opinion. I am just giving you my opinion. Thank you. I rest my case.
I bet
All right, well,
$5 that
I need some
Chicago will
Skittles.
finish below Florida.
Also, yeah,
Good job, Ryan.
Let's finish this episode by talking about the last weird, crazy prediction that Ryan has. Philly.
All right, we're going to go
versus
to the East. We're going to go to the East now. New Jersey, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Rangers, Pittsburgh, Islanders, Boston, and of course, the obvious prediction of Washington in first in the East.
Why do you have the Rangers above the Flyers?
Again?
Okay. I want to back up Ryan here. I disagree with his opinion wholeheartedly. However, this is a very tough division.
Yeah.
And this is a division I'd expect surprises in. The Rangers are good. The Flyers are also good.
Rangers got worse over the
Pittsburgh.
offseason.
They're still good though.
They have a good forward core, but their defense is bad and their goaltending is unproven.
Thank you so much for watching this literal disaster. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below on what you think of our opinions. And follow us on Instagram, puck_drop.lhs.source. That's right, Jordan.
puck_drop.lhs.source.lhs.lhs. I said it. I said dot.
I heard you this time. My Wi-Fi is good. And
Yeah.
Jacob, what is our Twitter handle?
At LHS Puckdrain.
All right, we'll see you in the next one, guys. I'm going to go enjoy some Starburst. Peace.
That's true. Yeah. I actually spoiler alert, had Boston at first because
Hold on, Jordan. Hold on.
What?
Hold on, Jordan. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Am I here?
Yes. Hi.
Hello?
You're kind of freezing.
Hi.
Oh, cool. Okay. I thought you didn't. Oh, hello, I'm here. I'm here. You
Hello?
see me? Hello?
Yes,
Ryan, you're
Hi.
freezing up.
I'm here.
You're freezing up.
I know.
Oh, can you see me? I'm here. I'm here.
Let's talk about Ryan
You
behind his
see me?
back. Ryan is the worst. Oh man,
Okay,
his
no,
his
I'm
predictions
here.
probably suck.
I'm
What
gonna
an
call-
episode, folks. What an episode.